Thanks for joining us for our Chamber Connection podcast. Thanks to our friends at Speakeasy, we are here for the next 52 weeks, bringing you guests from around our community, elected officials, business owners, folks doing great work here in Macomb County. So sit back, take a listen, and we hope you'll join us every week for our Chamber Connection. Thanks for joining us for this edition of our Chamber Connection. My name is Stacy Ziarko. I'm the president and CEO of the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we are here at our Speakeasy podcast studio in Sterling Heights. I'm excited. My guest today is the Director of Communications at Visit Detroit, Chris Moyer. Chris, thanks for being here.
Stacy, it is so great to be here with you this morning and to be up in Macomb County.
We love having you up in Macomb County. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk about Visit Detroit.
Sure. Well, as you said, I'm Chris Moyer. I am the Director of Communications for Visit Detroit. And when I'm not doing Visit Detroit things, I love to travel myself. I'm a pretty active athlete, or aging active athlete. I still like to get out, play soccer, basketball. I compete in triathlons. I have a wonderful, wonderful wife and two beautiful dogs. So
Hey.
That's kind of me when I'm not supporting and promoting all the great things in Oakland, Macomb, Wayne County, and the city of Detroit.
So tell us about Visit Detroit. Tell us what, who you are and what you do.
Sure. Visit Detroit is the Convention and Visitor Bureau for the Tri-County area, Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, and the city of Detroit. We are the oldest Convention and Visitor Bureau in the United States, in the world.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, founded in the 1890s, 126 years old now. Brought together.
You're aging well. Aging so well.
I think so. It looks good on us, like either that or like a fine wine. Yeah. But we have the great privilege of getting to promote the region to visitors from outside the Tri-County area, most of them really from outside the state of Michigan, nationally and internationally. So more than 19 million visitors came to the Tri-County area in 2019.
Wow.
This helps bring billions of dollars in economic activity to the region. And the truth is that many people think about travel to Michigan and they think pure Michigan, they think up north, Traverse City, the Upper Peninsula, Mackinac Island, being on Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, or a small inland lake. That is definitely pure Michigan, but 40% of all visitors to the state come to Southeast Michigan. We are the beating heart of pure Michigan. And I'll just say this, most of them are here for leisure purposes. They're not here for business or convention and events travel. About 77% of all visitors to the region are here to visit the sites, explore Macomb County, explore Detroit, explore Oakland County or Wayne County, maybe see relatives that are here. But while we do have a very robust convention and business travel segment, this is a place where people like to come and explore all the good that is in Southeast Michigan.
So in 2019, you said 19 million visitors
Yes.
to Detroit. Then we had this thing happen for a
Yeah,
couple of years,
yeah.
that kind of knocked us down all a little bit. What are you seeing now in 2022 in terms of travel back to the region?
2019 was this record year for the region. And so what we are seeing now in 22 is we projected that we'd be at about 70% of 2019 this year. We are far exceeding that.
Wow.
And so thrilled about that. And that's a reflection of just the vibrancy and the activity that exists here in the region. I'll give you the best example. For the year, we're not quite to 2019 numbers, but June, July, and August, we have matched those numbers in terms of visitors at people staying at hotels. So our occupancy rate at hotels throughout the region has matched that time period of 2019. Still down a little bit. We're at about 86% of 2019. But when you consider what we had projected, how much ahead of that we are.
Yeah.
This is a great sign for the recovery of the region and all facets of the tourism economy.
I just got an email from a college friend of mine who says, hey, we're bringing our family up to Detroit for a football game in the fall. What are some things that we can do? You know, they're looking forward to not even just coming in and out for a game, but also making a weekend of it and seeing what else is in the city. And I love hearing that.
That's a really common story. There are hooks that bring people to the region. We have 4 great historic franchises in sport.
Having some rough couple years.
That are
we
just,
can say it.
Yeah, that they're just not at the top of their game, although I was at the Lions game against Washington yesterday.
You saw a win.
They looked good.
Okay.
This could be the start of not a Super Bowl, but certainly the heading in the right direction. All 4 of those major sports teams play within a half mile of each other. Comerica Park, Ford Field, and the Little Caesars Arena. You can walk to all of them. The Tigers and the Lions played on Sunday at home. So that's a hook. We also have an incredible music scene in terms of traveling artists, huge superstars across all the genres. They make sure that they come to Southeast Michigan and perform at the half dozen to a dozen pinnacle venues that we have, whether it's Ford Field or Comerica or throughout the region.
Fillmore, you can hit them anywhere.
Yeah. And so that might be what brings them here initially. But then when they're here, they get to go to wonderful museums throughout the region. Our food scene is it is truly something that to be celebrated, and it's the diversity of the great food that we have here.
I always think that the food scene was really part of Detroit's resurgence. Like almost that came first before a lot of things. You see that in some communities where food has this equalizing and a way to bring people together. So food is a way that people gather, we talk, and the Detroit. I can't say enough about the restaurants in the city. They do a great job.
They really do. But I will say this. It's not just the restaurants in the city.
Absolutely. It's the region.
Macomb County has and I know you know this way better than I do.
I just like to eat, so I will find food anywhere.
I mean, you took me to a fantastic Middle Eastern restaurant in July, and what I would say is that if there is one cuisine that we do better than any place else in the United States and in North America, it's our Middle Eastern food. But getting to go to restaurants, this is a reflection of the culture that we have here and the great vibrancy of our region. So people come for a variety of reasons, and then they fall in love with the people, the culture, the food, and they want to come back.
So talk to me. You talk about Visit Detroit, and we know it's not just Detroit. It's a regional base. How does Macomb County play into part of the Visit Detroit philosophy? Yeah,
Macomb County is one of the most dynamic portions of the region. You have, going east to west here, right on the beautiful shores of Lake St. Clair. This is a place where people can come and participate in all kinds of water sport activities, or just stay on the lake shore and have a nice lunch, have a nice beer, have a nice cocktail, whatever it is.
Sounds like a good day to me.
It sounds like a really good day. There's so much to do on the beautiful shore of Lake St. Clair in Macomb County, and then just that portion of where Wayne County and Macomb County meet. You've got the Eleanor and Edsel Ford House, beautiful gardens, and historic portion of the automotive history that is so rich here, and a major reason why people come to our region. So that's just over in Macomb County and Grosse Pointe Shores. But as you start to move west, the park system of Macomb County, you are 40 minutes from downtown, where there is all of these wonderful museums. But then you are basically out in nature. You might as well be in the Upper Peninsula with some of the incredible parks that you have here. if you get off, you're maybe going for a bike ride, you get off the trail and said, I want to go to some great place to eat, all of the local restaurants, fantastic shopping on Van Dyke and Hall Road, Partridge Creek. There is just such a dynamism and the fantastic business community here in Macomb County as well. This is really one of the you've got General Motors and Warren, but this is where the arsenal of democracy has really migrated. Detroit truly helped ensure that the Allies won World War II, and Macomb County has taken over that mantle place as a place for the production of our defense.
And I know that historically there's always been a city versus suburbs kind of debate, but if we look at this holistically, if one does well, we all do well. And the region does well for all of us that, live, work, recreate here. That's what we're looking for.
We have to work together. Too long there has been the parochialism of it's Detroit versus Oakland County,
right.
Detroit versus Western Wayne County, Detroit versus Macomb County. I think we're breaking this down. There's still room to improve. There's still opportunities to collaborate more effectively, but we are a region. We're the 11th largest metro region in the country at 4.5 million people. This is it is a thriving area, and it can be even more vibrant when we start to share those great assets that we have together.
What do you think we need to do in order to start sharing some of these assets? How do we work towards collaboration?
One of the most important things that we can do is take the example of Macomb County, and every community in Macomb County signed up for the Regional Transit Authority. If we have a more robust regional transit system, this will allow us to better explore the region, allow visitors to the region to get to different places. Not everybody rents a car when they fly in to Metro Airport.
I also think that's one of the, when we live out in Macomb, we're 45 minutes from the airport at best. And
yes.
that's a tough challenge sometimes
yes.
for folks traveling in.
Yes. Macomb's visitors are predominantly drive visitors because of that distance from the airport. And so you do have a robust drive-in economy, but we can make this more accessible for people. And the fact of the matter is that as we look at labor issues right now, particularly in the restaurant and hotel industry, many people that work in hospitality, and there are about 460,000 people in Southeast Michigan in our region that work in hospitality. Not all of them are for tourism. Sure. That's you and me going to a restaurant, but it's really buttressed by the folks that come in from out of state. They don't often live right next to the restaurant that they work at, or the hotel that they work at, or the Henry Ford Museum, or the DIA. So being able to get on a bus and easily get to their place of business helps this, and will help the number of people that can work in that industry, which is down from 2017, 18, 19, when it was at its high, because of the lack of mobility that we're suffering. So that'd be the first thing that I would do. I think that our county executives, County Executive Hackle, County Executive Evans and Coulter, and Wayne and Oakland County, they're starting to work together, and Mayor Duggan is also a big proponent of working with his counterparts to make sure that we have a robust ecosystem of collaboration.
Outside of transit, what do you think are going to be some challenges that we see post-pandemic?
Well, there's no doubt that inflation is having an impact on everybody's life. This is raising prices for the small business owners, and we get to talk, you get to talk with small business owners all the time.
There's only so much they can pass on.
Exactly. And they want to make sure that people can still walk in their door. They want to make sure that their employees are paid not just the minimum wage, but a living and fair wage. These are the stalwarts of our community, the cornerstones of our community, small business owners. And They're doing everything that they can. It also hurts that when their customers don't have as much discretionary spending, they won't spend quite as much. That being said, we're still seeing a rapid growth in hiring. We're still seeing a rapid the spending has stayed at a very strong level, and I think there are signs that while this is a puzzling economic period, there are things that point to a robust and resilient recovery. So I would think that if we're looking at how we can navigate this time period, it's continuing to, for those folks here in the Tri-County area, shop and look locally. My job is to bring people from outside of the state to our economy. But for those of us that are here, we're very fortunate to have all of these things at our fingertips.
So you mentioned earlier, it was before that you are bringing in a bunch of journalists this week.
Sure.
From Canada.
Yeah.
Where are you taking them? What are they going to see?
Well, we're taking them.
Give us the highlight reel.
Okay. I mean, we are taking them on it, particularly for the first couple of days. We're in the auto show season right now. There's a lot of interest in the auto show, and the auto show is a reimagined entity where it's not just in Huntington Place. It's not in January.
It's not cold.
It's not cold. It is beautiful outside right now. And so getting to walk around at Huntington Place, go down to Hart Plaza, see some of the activations there, up to Campus Marshes and over to Beacon Park. There are things to do in the auto show. And this is really a show about mobility. There are things, the flying cars, literally that's the best way to describe it.
It's a big thing down there.
Yes. So that was the impetus for some of these Canadian travel journalists to come here in the first place. But while they're here, we're going to, when you get them here, they're going to fall in love with this place. So showing them around Eastern Market, the Detroit Institute of Art, going over to the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation, Greenfield Village. And these are some of those places, but also taking them out, restaurants, bars throughout the region. This is going to be a great chance to show off the region to our friends just over in Ontario.
So I was downtown last week and was downtown for part of the auto show activities, parked a little bit farther away from Huntington Place because I wasn't sure about parking and what was going on. And so we took a nice little jaunt through the city. We parked over near the Opera House and walked over to Huntington Place, which is it looks far. It's really not. It was maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But what we saw was so much activity. And the great use of space, some of the alleyways that have been turned into bars, some of the restaurants that have popped up, having patio seating now that might not have had patio seating 3 or 4 years ago. It's really exciting to look at. And it's kind of a reimagined city of Detroit. Would you agree?
I mean, there is a reason why Time magazine said that Detroit is one of the world's greatest destinations. Only 50 destinations in the world were selected in 2022. Detroit is one of them. Now, that was specific to the city of Detroit, but you know what? We're all Detroiters.
Absolutely.
Whether you're in Macomb County, Wayne, or Oakland, we're all Detroiters, and we can all celebrate this. And it is a reflection of the incredible resiliency that our city and our community as a whole is having right now. Are we perfect? No. Is there still work to do? Are there still things that we can make better? You absolutely bet there are. But that walk that you just went on from sort of the northern part of downtown towards the river is just wonderfully full of activity. And you've got the Hudson Tower coming up.
We
right
watched
in the
it.
heart
That
of
was
it.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so get down now because you can see they're putting glass on some of the outer structures of this. And in a couple years, it'll be open for everybody. But you wander through the alleys, Parker's Alley, the Belt. There are activations, restaurants, bars, retail there that are really exciting. You walk over through Campus Marshes. In the summertime, you have a beach in Campus Marshes, this central park in the middle of the city. And then in the wintertime, you can come down and go ice skating at the ice arena, the ice rink that's there. Sponsored by Visit Detroit, I must mention.
Absolutely.
because we are a four-season destination. There are, of course, better months to be in Southeast Michigan. We all know that. But there are great things to do all year round here.
You know, I was down there for what you called the Detroit Day a couple months ago when there was, you know, activity at Ford Field and Comerica Park and Little Caesars Arena and the Fillmore and the Opera House. Energy.
Yes.
The energy is astounding. And watching people come for all different activities, right? They're all down there, all from probably a lot of them from the suburbs.
Yep.
Some coming in as far as northern Michigan. You've got some people coming in from Toledo. And that energy and enthusiasm brings them back.
It is. The best thing that Detroit has going for it right now, and when I say Detroit, I'm talking about the whole region, is Detroiters. When you go to another wonderful city around the country, it is there's a lot. There are things to see and things to do, but you don't get to necessarily hang out with a New Yorker. You don't get to shop next to somebody that's from Chicago. You're not at a bar with people that are from the local community in San Francisco. In Detroit, there are no tourist traps. We don't have any of those. We just have real authentic experiences. And so that's getting to mix and mingle and be a part of the community and really integrate yourself into this community that has helped move the world, whether it's the automotive industry or our music industry or our music scene. We have profoundly changed life in a positive way for people all over the globe. And so that's something to really celebrate.
Absolutely. There's a lot on the horizon. There are some big things coming up. The NFL draft, 2024?
2024.
That's going to be insane. That is going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Hundreds of thousands of people are going to be visiting Detroit over the last weekend in April. NFL draft starts on Thursday night, Friday, Saturday. We have seen what the NFL draft has done for communities prior to the pandemic, and we're projecting, based on working with the NFL, working with the city of Detroit, working with other partners. Visit Detroit helped secure this. The Detroit Sports Commission, which is a part of the NFL, a part of the Visit Detroit, helped bring this to the city. And this is going to be a huge boost to our economy and those businesses, not just in downtown Detroit, but throughout the region.
There's going to be people staying out in Macomb County, out in Oakland
You better
County.
believe it.
You know, what else is on the horizon? What are some other things that you can tell us that's going to be coming up to look for the rest of 22 and beyond? Well,
one thing that just happened that I do want to mention that I'm really excited about. Everybody's going to see what happens with the NFL draft, but we just hosted an event called Connect Marketplace in Detroit, and this is an event specifically for meeting and convention planners throughout the entire world. And we had almost 1,000 meeting and convention planners here in Detroit. 2,000 people attended that conference. All of the competitors were trying to come here and talk to those same people. But getting them here, 70% of those convention and meeting planners had never been to Detroit before.
Awesome.
And they fell in love with this city. You better believe that over the next decade, they're signing contracts to come bring their event to Detroit. And so I
happened to be downtown when there were 20,000 Herbalife folks for their national. They were everywhere.
They were everywhere. And so when we get them here, they're going to want to come back and bring new people as well. So that's one. Number two, we have the same type of thing when it comes to the tourism economy happening in February of 23. We have the American Bus Association conference being hosted in Detroit, and several thousand tour operators are going to be here. And Macomb County is really poised to benefit from this, because we're going to be taking them on the surprising suburbs tour. So again, more people, more activity, bringing other people back to the region. Right now, Visit Detroit and the Detroit Sports Commission, we are bidding on a Final Four,
Fingers crossed my team will be in the Final Four,
Yes.
those Dayton Flyers. We'll hope one day.
Well, Dayton Flyers always do punch above their weight in basketball.
There was that one year in 2020 they were supposed to, in my eyes, they're still the national champions.
Okay.
Don't argue with me. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's a counterfactual that can't be proven one way or another. So the next round of games of Final Four cities that will be selected are 27 through 31, 2027 through 2031. And Detroit is one of the finalists for that at Ford Field. We think we have a really compelling story. We've been targeting the year 2029 specifically because that will be the 50th anniversary of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michigan State's first national championship.
Fantastic.
But let's just say that you're a U of M fan and you're looking for some resonance there. Well, it's the 40th anniversary of Glenn Rice and U of M. I don't have a specific tie into the Dayton Flyers, but
you have me.
Yes, this is
that's a great time to bring the Final Four to Detroit.
And as we talk to the NCAA, we need more hotel rooms downtown. They said that, but we are building quickly. We're trying to get more hotel rooms, and we know that this is a regional thing. There are 4,000 hotel rooms downtown, 45,000 throughout the Tri-County area. So it will be an opportunity to show off the whole region. I think that this is something we can be confident on. It's a competition, no doubt. There's basically 5 cities for 3 spots. Atlanta in 2020 didn't get their Final Four, so they're going to get a makeup for that.
Okay.
And Indianapolis always gets one. So then it's really looking at us and Minneapolis, Dallas, Las Vegas, and we think that our bid stacks up really well against anybody. So that announcement's coming later this year, and so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much. This is really exciting. I think it's an exciting time for all of us. This region has just is just poised for so much growth and development, and we're the Chamber's glad to be a part of it. So I appreciate you joining me on our podcast today.
Stacy, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And we hope that you'll join us again for our next edition of the Chamber Connection. Thanks for tuning in to the Chamber Connection. Be sure to check out information on the Sterling Heights Regional Chamber of Commerce website, our Facebook page, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We look forward to you connecting with us and tuning in next week.